Hello everyone, welcome to another video essay from us here at No Input. My name is Vanessa and today I'll be taking a deeper look into what makes a film either good or bad. We'll be looking at both film form and film style. Also, if you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on that notification bell. Let's get started. Alright, let's say you're learning about filmmaking, but you don't know where to start. First off, you need to have some interest in films themselves. And I don't just mean you're a film junkie, you're constantly glued to your screen, watching every film you can. No, what I mean is, you need to start looking at your favorite films with a critical eye. That means you don't just watch the story as it unfolds. You watch out for the little bits and pieces that make up the film itself, like the way the sets and props are designed, how the angles of the camera add to the emotions you're supposed to feel, how the editing seems seamless, and how sound, both dialogue and music, emphasizes what each character feels or how tense the situation is. If you've studied film before, you'd have realized that I was just speaking about the 4 different categories of film style. Now for those of you who haven't, what on earth does that mean? Basically, when you look at a film as a film critic does, or as a filmmaker, you'll come across 2 different aspects of the film medium that needs to be addressed, especially if you want to sound like you know what you're talking about. On the one hand, you have film form. This is the film itself, whether in proper form, meaning the reel of plastic that the pictures are actually printed on, which is the original form of film, hence the word film, or in digital format. If you're looking at the old form, which is the physical reel of film, you'll be looking at details like how fast the frame rate is, or how big the frames are, whether it was shot on Super 8mm, 16mm, 35mm, or 70mm film. Don't worry, we'll go into more detail about these later. However, if you're looking at digital film, you'll have much more options, like how defined the resolution of the images are, how well rendered the animations and special effects are, what kind of camera was used to create these images. Again, we'll cover this topic later. Now on the other hand, you have film style. This is where creativity comes in. And when I say creativity, what I mean is the standard form of creativity where the art of filmmaking comes in. As I said before, there are 4 categories to look at when looking at a film critically. You have the mise en scène, which essentially means everything you see in the shot, like the set, the costumes, the props, the actors, the movements in the scene, and everything that isn't there as well. Next, you have the cinematography. This means you're looking at the angle of the shots themselves, whether they're POV, over the shoulder, wide shots, close-ups, and whether they're high-angle or low-angle shots. After that, you're looking into the editing of the film. So you look at the color palettes, the different cuts and transitions used to make a scene look seamless. You look at whether or not the action of the scene is edited in properly, and whether or not you notice the transitions from one shot to another. Finally, you need to look at the sound of the film, both dialogue and the background music. You need to determine whether or not the dialogue makes sense and portrays the characters' emotions properly, and whether or not it makes sense for the characters to say the lines that they did, and how they've acted them out. You also need to take a look at the music, whether or not it makes sense for the scene, if it adds to the emotions of the scene, or whether it's supposed to contrast it. Okay, there is a lot to unpack here, but this is the gist of what watching a film critically looks like. Don't worry, as I said before, we'll look into these topics in more depth. For now, I hope this overview gives you an idea of what to do when watching a film as a filmmaker. Of course, I don't mean to say you can show off your critical eye to your friends. What I mean is, when you look at a film critically, and you want to make films yourselves, don't just look at what the filmmakers should have done to make the film better. Look at the ideas that made the film, and perhaps be inspired by them. After all, as I said before, film is a collaborative effort, and if it means taking inspiration from the biggest and the best, so be it. Eventually, you'll develop your own style and create your own films that might even win those acclaimed awards. So, I hope we see you guys next time. And tell me, are you a film student? Do you know what I'm talking about with these categories? Do you watch films critically? If you do, let us know in the comments below, And if you have any questions about film theory or anything to do with film, please feel free to ask. We'll answer them as best as we can. In the meantime, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our channel and our social media pages to keep tuned for more content from us here at No Input. Bye!